O'Reilly Factor.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Culture Warrior segment tonight, the presidential debate and the gay marriage vote in California coming up. Actor Brad Pitt and director Steven Spielberg each have ponied up about $100,000 to try to persuade California voters to uphold gay marriage. The question on whether to overturn the state Supreme Court's ruling is on the ballot this November. With us now, the Warriors, Monica Crowley and Margaret Hoover. They don't look fierce, but they are. Okay, so this measure goes on the ballot. Outside the presidential election, it's going to be the biggest thing on the California ballot. And the folks are going to get a chance to overturn the Supreme Court, correct?
They have a chance to do it. The people who are against Proposition 8 are the people who are in favor of keeping the law the way it is, which is that allows gay marriage. So you have supporters of Proposition 8, which want to be able to repeal it. That's no gay marriage. And
is that confusing?
It's a little bit confusing just because in order to repeal the law, you're trying to keep it.
Is it spelled out on the ballot? Have you seen how they're wording
no, that's not going to be a nuance. I think everybody gets it. I mean, when
Right.
Brad Pitt is saying no for Proposition 8, everybody understands that he's for gay marriage.
Right.
I'd like to comment on this though, because I am not a Hollywood elite person. I disagree with everything they think politically, from taxes to guns to George Bush to the war on terror. I think the Hollywood liberal elite don't represent most of the country. But sometimes, actually every time, broken clocks can be right twice a day. In fact, broken clocks are right twice a day. And the major difference, I think, between you and I on this issue, Bill, is one that's a generational issue. I think you and I grew up in different times. My generation growing up, people who were like me, who growing up at the same time, who realized that they were different than I was, they were allowed to be who they were, to self-actualize. They didn't have to hide in the proverbial closet. So when Ellen DeGeneres says, it sounds like the government's saying, you people sit over here, and you people sit over here, and gay people and straight people can't have the same rights. That's an argument that my generation actually identifies with, and we
you're going to make
think,
me cry, but
and we
the
actually
fact
think that this
remains
is the civil rights issue of our generation.
Yeah, I mean, you can think that and you can believe that, and that's why we have the vote. But the fact remains that the California Supreme Court hijacked what was a straight-out vote in the state of California about the issue. And that, you know, you could say anything's a human right. I talked to Dr. Mark Lamont Hill a couple of minutes ago. It's a human right to have a house. It's a human right to have nutritious food.
But we have rights in this country that everybody's guaranteed.
It's a privilege to drive a car. It's a privilege to get married. It's licensed by the state. You want to live with somebody? Nobody's going to quarrel with it. How do you see this?
Well, those who put the proposition on the ballot in California, they were looking at polling that was done a couple of years ago when the will of the people was first spoken in California, where the majority opposed gay marriage in California. The California Supreme Court, as you pointed out, overturned that and legalized it in the state of California. Thousands of couples have since gotten married under these new rules. Now they've decided, well, we're going to put it back on the ballot. But the problem is that a lot of the public opinion in California is now shifting to where you have either a split decision of those who support it versus those who oppose it.
Why is it shifting in the space of 2 years?
You know why, Bill? Because I think that there are so many people in America who are seeing these couples doing it. And once people get the images and they see couples or they know couples who have actually done it, they sort of shrug and say, well, now what's the big deal? It's not damaging to me.
Do you think it's a fair vote? I mean, you got all the big money coming in from Pitt and these guys. Is it a fair vote? Is it a fair play?
There's actually a lot of money coming into the other side.
Okay, so it's a fair vote. So we let them vote, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, is that self-actualization? Is that okay, voting?
Voting? Absolutely, you have a right to vote. That's in the Constitution.
I will make this prediction, and this won't stun you. If the folks in California say no to gay marriage, you're still going to have these people scream, you're violating my rights, blah, blah, blah.
But they're not.
And if I'm a polygamist, I'm taking my 16 wives to California going, hey, where's my self-actualization?
Are you revealing
I want my SA.
Are you revealing deep personal secrets about your fantasies here on your show?
Equal justice under the law.
Then you would agree that
I would agree that if I want to marry 16 people,
married.
I can do it in Massachusetts, and if they pass it, I can do it in California.
But you're a reasonable guy.
Because
you know the
above
difference.
all, culture warrior, I want self-actualization.
You know, Bill, there's also some interesting numbers where a majority in California, and certainly a majority nationally, don't believe in sanctioning gay marriage. There are all kinds of other alternatives, you know, civil unions and so on. But, you know, they're opposed to that. But when they're asked, do you support a constitutional amendment, whether it's a state
they don't want the
constitution or the
government. There's a
federal
libertarian
constitution.
streak involved.
Right,
All right,
they
I
don't
got to
want-
get on to
they don't
the
want
debate
that.
tomorrow night. You think it's going to happen, the debate?
I do think it's going to happen.
They're both going to show up?
I think close to the midnight hour before this debate is going to happen, miraculously, we're going to have a deal. Even if it's just a spoken word deal and a handshake.
Well, they
we're
already
gonna
said they have a deal.
And you know what McCain's going to do? Because
What?
I think he's run the whole thing so ingeniously. He's going to jump on a plane 2 hours before the debate starts. He's going to come tracking across the tarmac, trench coat flying. He's going to burst through the doors of the lecture hall there in Mississippi.
And
he's going to say, I saved the country from economic disaster. And Senator Obama, what were you doing?
And
You were
everybody's going to
washing
buy
up.
that? Everybody going to buy it?
I saved the country from economic disaster, and here I am to tell you about foreign policy, which I'm also going to kick his ass
Well,
on.
look, okay, do you believe it's going to happen?
I think it'll happen.
Yeah, I do too, because look, if they get it done tomorrow morning, and it looks like they will, then there's no excuse for them guys not getting on a private jet. Al Gore, they both have private jets, and so do you, Al. What a I'm sorry. And zoom down to Mississippi, to Oxford, Mississippi,
Right,
beautiful town,
right.
and slug it out.
That's right. And they don't even have to change the topic. A lot of people are saying make the focus economics, but the economics overflows.
You can tie right in.
Policy.
You can tie it right
Exactly.
in. And they can, look,
Exactly.
in these stupid debates, they answer whatever they want anyway. Jim Lehrer is going to be there. Hello, I'm Jim Lehrer. And then they're just going to answer whatever they want.
Right.
Okay? It's not like they're being interviewed by who?
The
Bill
ultimate-
O'Reilly.
That's
the
right.
ultimate
No
culture
spin zone.
warrior.
You know, this was my favorite segment of the night because I am now going to concentrate on
Self-actualization.
self-actualization. All right, ladies. The Culture Warriors coming